Good evening. We will get started in 2 minutes. Hi there. We'll get ready in 1 more minute. We'll get started. Speaking that over your week. Miracles. Okay. Okay, we are at 6:30. So I love this song, but we're gonna have to turn it off. We're gonna get started. It is 6:30. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with Walking in Wellness. I'm Coach Yvette, and I am helping you to live healthy, inspiring you to age naturally. Last week on our podcast, if you missed it, we talked about functional fitness and the proper movements. Functional fitness is different from just traditional exercise. If you happen to miss that, you can catch it in the reels. And this week we are going to be discussing nutrition myths and misconceptions. So a lot of the misconceptions that we have around nutrition and some of the things that we should be doing to make sure that we're eating nutrient-rich foods and fueling our body the proper way. I'm going to go over 3 main myths. There's so many of them, but I picked these 3 because I feel like all 3 of them in their own way, they affect our mind, and the correct mindset and being mindful about what we're doing is at the root of you making lifestyle changes that are going to be lasting and long-term to benefit you in a healthy lifestyle. So the first myth is going to be about carbs. All carbs are bad. The second myth is going to be about fats, eating fats. All fats are bad. And then the third one is skipping meals, that will help you with weight loss. So those are 3 myths that we're going to debunk today. Firstly, speaking about the misconceptions, some common myths about the carbs being bad. First, I'll give you some information on why they shouldn't all be avoided, the difference between the 2 types of carbs, and I'll give you some examples of 5 different things that you can incorporate into your diet that are they are fiber rich. So you're going to get the fiber that you need, as well as the fact that they are carbs, but they are healthier carbs to help you in your diet. So the first thing I want you to know about it is discussing the role of carbohydrates. The sole purpose is for energy. So sometimes if we can go overboard and it's one of the worst carbs, sugary carbs that we can eat, you have a crash. And so you think that all of them will affect you that way, but that's really not the case. The main source, the primary source for carbohydrates is a source of energy for your body so that you can function. And it's important to know that if your diet is actually balanced and you have a good mixture of fiber-rich carbohydrates in it, it's not going to affect you in that negative way. So the emphasis should be on whole grains over anything that is refined. A refined carbohydrate is what is going to give you that crash after you've eaten it. So if it's something that is a sugary food, then that is what is going to be the refined carbohydrate. But if it is a whole grain or a vegetable, that falls in the category of a complex carbohydrate, which is usually also something that has a lot of fiber in it, and it's going to give you that energy and support your sugar blood levels so that you don't have that high flux up and down. Your emphasis should be choosing on the ones that are high fiber, nutrient dense, and that are going to sustain you with long-term energy and give you better overall health. And the top 5 that I incorporate in my diet, and I think that are going to be really great for you to mix and match in different recipes, whether it is breakfast, dinner, or lunch. You can mix and match all of these 5 and make a great meal. First one being chickpeas. I know that you can use them in salads. You can even make smoothies out of them. They're very versatile. You can use them in so many different things. But chickpeas, quinoa, I also incorporate that. Sweet potatoes, and blueberries, and lentils. So that's 5 that you can incorporate for any meal of the day that is going to help sustain you with energy, high fiber, and you're still getting in those carbohydrates that are going to fuel your body properly. Next, the myth that we have is all fats are unhealthy and all fats should be avoided or minimized. And that's simply not true. I'll give you some insight on the difference between the 3 different kind of fats and some foods that we can take in that are going to have the good fats to help sustain us. And again, these are things that will affect your brain function. So carbohydrates also, they give you a source of energy, but they also support efficient brain function. And as well as with the good fats that we're going to talk about, they support good brain function. So being in the right mind, making the right choices, fueling your body, this is like our network that starts the central command center for the network of our body. And as long as it is in good health, it can help facilitate everything else to be in good health. So for the fats, there are 3 different kinds. There are saturated fats, unsaturated fats, and then trans fats. And I know you guys have probably heard a lot about the trans fats. Those are the things that are in prepackaged foods, fried foods, and typically the most harmful for your body and actually should be avoided. But the unsaturated fats are called the good fats. And so those are the things that we will find in avocados, omega-3s, and those things are going to sustain our body in a much more healthy way. Saturated fats, those are things that are found in animal products. I'm a vegetarian, and so I don't eat any animal products. That would be something that would not be a risk factor for me. But for some people who do still eat that, just be mindful that it could potentially have an increased risk for heart disease. But unsaturated fats are the ones that we're going to focus on. And those are monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Some examples of those are, let's see, avocados. I love avocados. Olive oil, and anything that's found in a nut. Almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts. Those things are high in omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids, and those are going to give you the great brain function that you need, support your immune system, and reduce any inflammation in your body. And so these good fats should be incorporated into your diet on a regular basis. Another benefit of the good fat is that it has a soluble vitamin A, D, E, and K. So these are all vitamin-rich things that are going to fuel you properly and give you a good nutrition source for your healthy diet. One of the things that is important for overall health and well-being is to make sure that you're being mindful of how much. So even if it's something that's good, it's still in moderation and in proportion. So make sure that your portion sizes are comparable to what you're eating. You don't ever want one thing to outweigh the other. Let's see, let me check some notes. If you do eat meat, I want to make sure that I'm including information for meat eaters out there as well, but you still want some omega-3 and fatty acids. These are some suggestions I have for you. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, those are things that will have the monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. I usually cook with olive oil or either avocado oil. And of course, love eating avocados on any dish. And so those are ways that I incorporate it in. Just a really small thing that can happen that you can do in the course of a day to make sure you're getting in those good fats. The third myth that we have is skipping meals will help me lose weight. And I know in theory this sounds like it might be a good idea because you're thinking that I'm eating less calories, and so that is gonna it somehow help me to lose weight. But actually, we really need to make sure that we're fueling our body properly. And so skipping meals is not a great way for you to lose weight. Actually, the truth about this frequency and weight loss, your meal frequency and weight loss, to debunk that myth, skipping it is actually a negative effect on your metabolism. So if you are trying to regulate your hunger, but you're constantly denying yourself from eating, then you are throwing off your natural rhythm and your metabolism. Skipping the meals, it can slow it down, which then your body is going to go into conserving energy and, in a sense, starvation mode, thinking that, hey, I need to lock down every single calorie that's coming in and store it up, and unfortunately store it up for fat because there's no more food coming in. So it's really important that you do not skip meals. Another thing it can do is it can increase your hunger, and that can potentially set you up for overeating when you do actually sit down and eat something, or eating something that's not the best choice because you'll just grab whatever is convenient if you're trying to hurry up and get those calories in. Also, you are be at the risk of being nutritionally deficient. So if you're not getting in regular meals or meals that are nutrient dense, you are putting yourself in the potential of being at a deficit for the nutrition that you actually need. So skipping meals does not help you lose weight. It actually harms you. So it's a great idea to make sure that even if there's small meals throughout the day, that you are incorporating eating on a regular basis and not trying to skip a meal. Now, this is separate and apart from intermittent fasting, or if you are doing any type of a fasting, there are other rules that apply to that and how you're going to follow your meal plan routine. I'm speaking of just on a day-to-day, a regular basis, how you should handle that. Some of the foods that I want you to focus on, and some of the rules to focus on rather than just trying to cut out things. Incorporate better habits. And incorporating these better habits, they're going to bring about the natural, healthy lifestyle that you want to lead, opposed to you trying to stick to some checklist of strict things that I can and cannot do. Instead, incorporate eating whole foods, things that are real, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats with your meal, beans, anything that is fiber rich and mineral rich, antioxidants. Those are things that you want to incorporate, and those are all found in fruits, vegetables, whole grains that you can incorporate into the diet. Practice portion control. So as you are making that plate, make sure that you have a good quantity of, I have enough vegetables, I have enough grains, I have enough protein, so that it's well balanced. It's not out of balance, and that you are supporting something that is going to fill you but not overfill you. Pay attention to the cues that your body and your mind are giving you, that, okay, this is enough, I feel full. Another trick is eating slower. So taking my time as I'm eating so that my body has an opportunity to catch up with my mind, and my mind vice versa, so that I'll know I'm satisfied and I can go ahead and push the plate away. That is the thing that I think that we have the most control over, outside of, you know, getting in movement, getting in hydration, and paying attention to what we're eating is how much we're eating. So practice portion control. The next is to plan and prepare your meals. Food prep is a small thing that can be done with a huge impact to your week, your couple of weeks out of the meals that you plan. Having things prepared and ready are going to make sure that you don't fall into bad habits from trying to just grab what is convenient to you, going to takeout, using something that's prepackaged, that is going to be a little bit more unhealthy for you, that is quicker to do. Those things kind of go out the window when you take the time to plan and prepare your food. So just prepping your meals, even just prepping your vegetables and things like that. So when you get ready to cook, that process, you remove the friction out of it. It's a quicker process. You can get that cooking done, get that meal completed, and it's something that is going to be nutrient rich and to sustain you and give you better health rather than something that is going to hurt you. So adopt that practice of whole foods, portion control, and plan and prepare your meals. So these tips are going to make sure that you're getting in the proper vegetables, the proper whole grains, and the healthy fats. You're not skipping meals, and you're not falling into those 3 myths that we went over, and you're going to be working toward a more sustainable, healthy lifestyle. I think that as we are thinking about fueling and feeding our brain and making sure that we are in the right mindset for each step as we're incorporating these different habits into our lifestyle, it's important to know the part that nutrition plays in that. It's very important of what we're fueling ourselves with and what we're taking in on a day-to-day basis so that we can actually function properly as we're trying to maybe do more exercise or maybe make sure we're getting in enough water. If we're not in the right mindset, or if our body is not feeling well because it is at a deficit of any nutrients and the nutrition that we need, that is going to affect us in the long run. And again, this is a journey that we're on. This is something that we want to do as a lifestyle. It is long term. And if we can't get some of these foundational things kind of ingrained in us so that we know how to move forward, it's going to stifle us or prevent us from actually truly building and creating that lifestyle. So it's very important that we have our mindset situated. We're fueling and feeding our mind properly. All 3 of these myths affect the function of our brain. So it's very important that we're getting the proper carbs, and that we are getting the proper fats, and that we are not skipping meals, but we are fueling our body properly. In conclusion, I want to kind of go over just this last little bit of information that when you do something that is nutrition based, these choices are going to affect you long term. Each time that you make a choice to do the right thing for your body, and then you move forward and you move forward, you're getting to the point where that is an ingrained habit. That is ingrained in you. It is a lifestyle, and it becomes second nature, and then your body reacts to that. Your body has been consistently getting in exactly what it needs. It's performing better, and as you're setting goals for yourself, it gives you an opportunity to level up on those goals. Okay, I've really hit that mark, and so now I can do something a little bit more. I can incorporate a new habit. I can incorporate a new goal and to work toward reaching that. So I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions should you have any, but just make sure you're being mindful about the myths that are out there and making sure that you're taking care of yourself to keep that brain function on point. Are there any questions? I'll give you guys a chance to chime in if you have any. No questions? Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining, and feel free to DM me any questions, or if there's a topic you'd like me to dig into for you. I do have other myths. I have a long list, and so we may hit this topic once more, the myths of nutrition and some of the misinformation that is out there, so that we can make sure that we're understanding how to truly take care of our bodies with the food that we're eating. When I use the word diet, it is speaking of nutrition, not necessarily a temporary thing. This is a long journey. This is a lifestyle that we're creating. And so until next time, be mindful and keep walking in wellness. Take care.